Still not where you want to be? I wonder why that is. It's probably because of something that you're telling yourself. One of the things that I've had to learn for me was I had to break myself down mentally to build myself up physically. What do I mean by that? So, for a very long time, I used to make excuses. I used to put things off. I used to blame other people. I was in a victim mentality state. And ultimately, that got me nowhere. So I had to change my mind frame. I had to start telling myself something different. And the way I went about doing that was I started monitoring my thoughts. Because if you're not okay up here, you're never going to be okay down here. So I started monitoring my thoughts. I started getting myself to a place where I needed to be more positive. I didn't like what and who I was becoming. As you could tell in my earlier videos, I had a lot of weight on me. I was coming out of alcoholism, and I was giving up one addiction for another addiction. I was overeating. I was lazy. I had gotten to a place where all I could do was make excuses. I was where I was at because of the decisions I made and because of what I told myself. That was the bottom line. Nothing nobody else did or said caused me to be in a state of where I was at. It was a reflection of how I reacted to the things that have happened to me in my life. Your reaction to things can make a huge difference on the outcome of your future. And what I was realizing was I was taking things and I was reacting to them negatively. And it was producing more negative results in my life. And I got to a place where I was tired of that. So one of the things I started doing was learning how to love myself. When I started learning that, man, I'm pretty smart and I actually bust my butt for people. I work really hard for companies. I work really hard for my friends. I work really hard for family. I work really hard for anybody other than myself. And I always put myself on the back burner. Well, I had come to a place where I had to change that. I had to come to a place mentally where I started putting myself first. Once I started doing that and I started realizing that there was a lot of things about me that were actually really cool. There was a lot of things about me that I liked. I didn't even realize that. And I caused myself a lot of damage emotionally, mentally, and physically based off of how I used to react to life and life's situations. Now, I know life's not easy. Life beats everybody down at some point in time. We're all facing battles and we're all facing things that not everybody knows about. However, with that being said, you have to get to a place where you're tired of the beating and beating yourself. One of the biggest things that was the hardest thing to realize and learn was that I was beating myself down. I was punishing myself for things because I believed that that's what I deserved. And ultimately, that was not the truth. That was a false idea I had of myself. And then I had to come to the realization that words are meaningless without the actions that follow behind them. For a very long time, I used to talk, and I was a good talker. I used to be able to say, I'm going to do this, and I get people to believe in me, and things of that nature. And then I wouldn't follow through with them. Well, when you start losing your word, you start losing your value. Not with just other people, but yourself. When you get to a place where you don't take your own self seriously, how can you get other people to take you seriously? How do you get to a place where you're more valuable? First of all, it starts with you. You have to value yourself and create that value in yourself. And that was one of the things that I had to do. I had to start telling myself, I can. This will happen. I started changing things, my vocabulary, my thoughts. When I started getting scared of something, that's whenever I acted the fastest. If I got to a place where I didn't want to go into the gym or I didn't want to work out, that's when I went outside and did it. That's when I went into the gym. I got to a place where, because I was in my addictions and things prior, I had a lot of social anxiety. So I had a lot of excuses as to why I couldn't go to the gym, or I couldn't go and work out, or I couldn't go places or do things because I had gotten to a place where it was safe for me to be lazy. It was safe for me to not do anything because it didn't require anything. And when I got to that place long enough, and I got to a place where I was comfortable, it was very hard to introduce new things to me because I realized I had to go against the grain on the new things that caused me to be more intentional, to be more direct. But when I did that, I found that I was able to accomplish more. I found that I was able to push myself to limits I didn't even think that I could do. Once I dropped the weight, then I started building my confidence. And I realized that the not going out, the social anxiety, was a deeper issue. It wasn't because I was scared to go out in public. It was because I was embarrassed by myself to go out in public. And that was one of the things I had to realize. So I had to start working on that. And if you're in a position right now where you're wanting to lose weight and you're wanting to get yourself together and you're wanting to be more presentable, then you got to get your mind right. It's very easy for us as humans to make excuses. And it's very hard for us as humans to see only possibilities. But when you start changing the way you look at things, then the things that you look at start changing. And that's one of the things that's very crucial to your success. That's one of the things that's very important to making changes mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever that may be. Putting yourself first allows you that opportunity because you know what needs fixing and you know that you are capable of fixing it. And because of that, you're able to complete yourself. And once you get to that level, then imagine what you can do for others. A lot of times, being an empath, we want to be in a situation where we can help others and do things for other people. But how can a broken person help a broken person? That was a very tough lesson I had to learn. And I realized that I had to fix myself first before I'd be good for anybody. With that being said, I hope that this video has helped. I hope that this video has found you. And if so, leave a comment in the comment section. With that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day.